where the laughter is. And sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions.
And send tweets.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Geek Squad.
And we're back. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. So if you're using your MTN right now, you can be watching us on the live stream. As I mentioned, we're talking about Samsung's new devices, and we want to take a deep dive. For those of you who didn't know, there's a new foldable phone. We've gone from the Fold 1 to Fold 2 to Fold 3. Now we're on the Fold 4. It's slimmer, sleeker, lighter, better. And there's a Flip 2 that came, and a Flip 3, and now there's a Flip 4. Yeah, there wasn't a Flip 1, if you didn't know. But there's a Flip 4, and that's also sleeker, slimmer, more colorful, and more features. As for the watch and the buds, yeah. Today, kwashe somebody. Okay, guys, so let's get right into it. Michael is obviously going to be dropping his iPhone after this show and getting a Fold 4, aren't you, Michael?
Obvious is a very strong word.
It's obvious because you've been holding the phone since you got here.
I've only been here 30 seconds.
It's a lie. You've been here longer than 30 seconds before we came into the studio. Why you?
We'll talk about in the studio set.
Uh-huh.
Outside, I had
Why you even holding this? You shouldn't be holding the phone.
Why am I going to catch fire as an iPhone user?
Yes, you probably will. It's like holy water.
Bear witness, listeners, for at least those of you who are streaming. By the time the show ends, there will be no need for the fire service or a fire extinguisher.
Well, you are currently going from a normal color you have. I can't describe it to red right now. So yeah, we might say that being on fire is a bit figurative, not actual fire. So we're not talking about you, Michael. We're talking about the devices. And Michael and Hassan. Sorry. You know, for me, what usually blows my mind is the fact that every year tech companies feel the need to bring something new because they can. Now, it sometimes feels like, oh, can you guys do something better than what you've already done? And I remember when I was reviewing the Fold 3, I was like, looking at the Fold 2 and Fold 3 and wondering, how did they even think, oh, we can make it better? And then they actually made it better. Now you've taken the 4 and made the hinge. If you watch, let me just say, for those who don't know, go on YouTube and search for the Z Fold 4 hinge. Like, the fact that a company can actually take time to talk about how their engineers did something, that for me is so, if I was an engineer, I'd be so proud. Like, every time I see the ad, I'm like, see, they're talking about us. Most companies would just say, we, in general, we did this and we've improved it by 23%. And now, because of what we have done, your phone will last 3 hours more. But these guys actually appreciated their engineers. And engineers out there, you should go and work for Samsung because they'll appreciate you, unlike some other companies. Right, Hassan? Right, Mike? Right. I've just given you guys free ad for a Fold 4, clearly. So tell Michael and my listeners, because Winston and I were there for the launch, what's new with the Fold 4 from the Fold 3?
Okay, so a couple of new things, but before I start, I'd just like to say that we sought out to do 2 different things with both devices based on feedback we had from customers and our innovation journey. So for the Fold 4, what we sought to do was we wanted to reduce the weight of the device and at the same time make it fit better in your palm,
right,
for one-handed operation. So in order to do that, we had to work on the hinge. We had to actually re-engineer the whole hinge system and use the materials that are actually lighter as compared to the previous one So the size of the hinge has reduced, but at the same time, we have more screen time, or we actually have a wider screen on the cover screen, if I could say something like that, without actually making the phone larger or wider in any way. So this was with the Fold. This was as a result of the main feedback we had from customers. Of course, we also touched on the camera. Now we have added a 50 megapixel wide camera to the Fold to actually work on the camera a bit, because a lot of people were like, well, this is a powerhouse device, but the camera was a bit low. Like when you look at Fold 3, the camera system that we had on it. So we had to improve the camera a bit on the Fold 4, but the main thing was about the hinge and the weight of the device. Now with the Flip 4, what we sought out to do mainly was about the battery, because most customers were complaining about the battery time on the Flip 4. We improved it from 3,300 milliamperes to 3,700 milliamperes. Now, touching on batteries sometimes could be a bit tricky, because you don't want to make the phone too bulky, but at the same time you want to enhance the battery so it could last longer. And it's also one of the reasons why we why we decided not to touch the battery on the Fold 4, because if we had gone into that direction, our aim of reducing the weight of the device would have been compromised. So what we decided to do with the Fold when it came to battery was rather to work on the processor and the processor lithography. So currently the processor, it's the new Snapdragon 8.1 Gen 8 Gen 1, and then the lithography is from 5 nanometer to 4 nanometer. By working on this alone, the battery already has been enhanced because of,
efficiency.
Efficiency, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So from 5 nanometer to 4 nanometer, for the person listening who doesn't know how to measure, yeah, because there are people like that who can't tell the difference. Okay, so what does it mean to move from a 5 nanometer processor to a 4 nanometer processor?
Okay, so basically with this, we're talking about the chips on the board being now closer as compared to previously. So power is transferred from one chip to the other in a shorter distance. And by this, there is efficiency in the sense that your device would actually not get too hot, because it will not take a long time for power to be transferred from one transistor actually to the other. So
this is actually a thing.
Yes,
so
it is.
The power it transports itself from one transistor to the other.
Exactly.
And back and forth, and that creates heat.
Exactly. It creates heat in the device. Yes.
Okay, so that's what happens when your phone is getting warm. It means that there's a lot of traffic.
You
in
could
your
say
phone.
that. Exactly.
So if you reduce the distance between point A and point B, it reduces the amount of traffic, thereby reducing the heat produced in the process.
Yes, it is actually one aspect to control the heat. There are other aspects that you could talk about, maybe using certain materials in the device that can actually dissipate the heat, or spread it to other areas of the device, so that the heat is evenly spread out and it's not contained in one area. But yes, the processor lithography is a big deal when it comes to heat transfer also. Yeah.
I guess that explains why you've sold over 10 million foldables from the Fold 3 and the Flip 3. So that informs creating a Fold 4 and a Flip 4. Now, I'm going to ask some more questions, but Michael, you've been playing with the Fold 4. And
Yes.
So far, what is your experience? Just briefly, I want to know what you're feeling right now.
It's not bad. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be a bit more excited about
No, you're not supposed to be anything. Just say what's on your mind.
I mean, look, I'm using it now as a sort of micro laptop, and I'm using it as a sort of micro laptop now. It's actually kind of interesting to use. I'm put back in and yes, I'll show my age. I don't care anymore. It's putting me back in mind of the old
organizer days.
Yes, literally. Look, I had one of those, and it's actually a pretty
Texas
cool
Instruments or Casio?
Scion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you're old. Yeah, Michael, you're old.
Cut me in half and count my rings, because I'm a at this age.
Hassan, you obviously being a Samsung geek get to play with these devices, and you guys sorry, I'm really sorry that I have this throat I keep clearing. It seems that a lot of what Michael has said was from feedback. And you're a gamer. So the heat. You know how gaming on these devices can produce heat. I saw you playing Apex before we came in. So you gamed on this. What's the experience like?
So the input lag on this device is quite amazing. One, because of the chipset, because of the 4 nanometer chipset right now, we have what we call the CPU has been improved by 16%, so it's faster. Transitioning from one application to another has been made very smooth. Now the GPU, which is that has to do with the game, the loading time of the game, has been improved by 58%.
58%. That's a big number.
Yes, you get me. So now it means that gaming on this is takes you to a whole nother level. It gives you that PC-like feel when you're actually gaming. You understand? And then, as you mentioned, I was playing an Apex. This one is just like you having an upper hand on any other person.
Because you have a bigger screen.
Because you have a bigger screen, an uninterrupted inbuilt camera as well. You get me? So it's amazing. And then we have what we call the NPU that's also been improved by 68%.
What's the NPU?
So this has to do with the AI learning. So something like the Bixby routine we have. So you normally, when you buy a new phone, let me just use Samsung, since Samsung. When you buy a Samsung phone, for some time, as you use your phone, there's a routine. Maybe when I get home at 5 p.m., I want maybe my blue light filter to be on, because then it affects my eye. When it's 10 p.m., someone like me, when it's 10 p.m., do not disturb mode should be on. Now, what this AI learning does is automatically learns your usage patterns and then now automates it. So I don't have to turn my blue light filter on when it's 5 p.m. I don't have to turn on my do not disturb mode when it's 10 p.m. This all has the AI in play. And then this has been improved by, like I mentioned, 68%. It means that the phone is now automated. It actually has learned
your lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. And now imitates it. And then we all know that the screen time as well actually takes chunk of the battery. So right now, everything is automated for you. You don't have to always, go back to
reduce brightness, increase brightness.
Exactly. It does that automatically for you. And then my colleague Michael mentioned that the whole point of this new foldable device was to improve the battery uses. Then again, battery consumption depends on
usage patterns.
The usage pattern. So somebody like yourself and myself, we are battery killers. Like I said, I'll be on my phone all day, every day, and then trust me, this device, the battery consumption is far better than I've seen on other foldable devices.
So.
But he said there's Apex Legends. So I didn't know I was tapping away at what you call a calendar and settings.
Not on that phone. Not on that phone. Now, you did mention the under display camera. Now that was a very interesting thing. I'm coming to you, Michael. Yeah. Last year when it launched, it was something never before seen, that you would have a camera under the screen and you can't even tell that it's there until you activate it. Then it kills the pixels on top of the camera so you can see yourself. But last year's device, it was only good for virtual meetings and the rest. But if you decided to have that, intimate phone video call that you want to, show all the places you are and say, hey, I'm there, you'd be better off with a cover camera. Yeah. But now you say you've improved it. Yeah. So what went into improving that camera?
Okay, so with the under display camera, what we call the UDC camera or the UDC, what we did this time around was to change the arrangement of the pixels in that area. Now, the main aim of the UDC camera is to stay hidden. So that we have improved on that, and in order to also improve on the quality, we had to change the pixels. Now, Kobe, you and I know pixels also they have a role to play with the quality of pictures that you take. It's actually very important. Something as little as changing the size of a pixel can actually do a lot to enhance photography, because it directly relates to light, and we all know that light is the life of photography. So what we did with the UDC was just to change the arrangement of the pixels there to actually be able to handle light better, so that we could have a better output from that particular camera.
Cool. So that means we're getting a better camera.
Yes, we are.
Now, I'm seeing Michael doing some flexing with the Fold 4 right now. And that brings me to the fact that you guys introduced something called flex mode. So because of the hinge, you can now open it in 3 different ways: fully, halfway, or the greater than way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what was the purpose for this? I know Michael mentioned he's using it as a micro laptop. Was that the purpose?
Well, with the flex mode, as you just said, different purposes. But for me, the main thing is we want you to be able to use the foldable in any way that you want. So one key thing that we had to look at was to optimize applications for this.
Right.
And basically, that's what flex mode is all about. We don't want you to, probably put the phone in the greater than mode, but the app that you are running would not sort of like arrange or divide itself, into 2 halves. It would behave like it's
still on one screen.
Exactly.
But meanwhile, you've divided the screen into 2.
Exactly. So optimization of apps was very key for this particular mode, if you would like to call it, on the foldable devices. Not even only on the fold, but also on the flip.
Yeah.
So flex mode is a very big deal when it comes to foldable phones, and we actually have been working with a lot of partners on this, Microsoft, Google. And talking about Google, we actually even developed a whole new operating system for this Android 12L, which is supposed to handle foldable devices.
Yeah.
Exactly. So for the flex mode, it's all about app optimization so that you can actually enjoy the phone the way it was meant to be enjoyed. Yeah.
And this is interesting because I noticed that with the Fold, when you open, let's say, TikTok, it knows that it's a foldable device, and it has one side with the TikToks you're watching, and then one side like the comments and stuff. So you mentioned that you partnered with other companies. People think, oh, it's just Microsoft and Google, but we saw Instagram, we saw TikTok, and who else?
It's Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if I got this device, most of the people who are going to get this device are business people. I'm not saying business people don't use TikTok. I think right now, a lot of them are actually enjoying TikTok. And I'm talking about Percy. Percy's on TikTok. And some other people I know who are supposed to be CEOs and stuff, but they're enjoying TikTok more than the Gen Zs who it was actually meant for. What would you say for, let's say, a CEO or an MD who's gotten the Fold and is not on social media? What benefit would they get from this, Hassan?
So, we have what we call the multitasking. That's with the help of the Android 12L. So that's actually operating system for phones with larger screen. Now, multitasking has been made super easy. If Michael can try this, he can just open one application on the device. Once he does that, he finds that there's a task bar below. Now, the task bar below, gone are those days you had to actually swipe to the recent files and then split the screen. Now it's easier. You can just drag the application you want to on the side and then multitask.
Okay, so like a taskbar like you have on your Windows machine or on your Apple machine.
Yeah, exactly. So then doing multiple things at a time. So for a businessman, maybe you are picking an image from the internet to add to maybe a PowerPoint presentation you have maybe in 30 minutes time. Right. It makes it super easy for you. So the whole point for this huge screen is just for multitasking, basically for a businessman's perspective. So for somebody who's getting a Fold, a businessman getting a Fold, basically is for productivity.
Right.
You understand? So multitasking, moving one document from another, drag and drop, all that. But with a Flip, Flip is geared towards more of the lady vloggers, those who like to take videos and everything. Lifestyle, exactly. What this does is it negates the use of a tripod.
Okay.
As mentioned earlier on, gonna do this, you have to, strategically position your phone in a
find a cup to chuck it.
Exactly. To take a video. Right now, you just break it into 90 degrees and then, you get a good view. Yeah.
Winston, do you want to open it for us to see what he's talking about? I know you're a vlogger, but by now you should have been vlogging the whole show. So you open it like a makeup kit. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, Winston is doing his makeup.
Pause. So interesting thing. When I think it was Michael was talking about the software, not other Michael. This Michael. Yes.
Michael and Mike.
Yeah, it is actually very, very, very well done, especially with the different hinge points of control. So the AI, I mean, the UI is so smooth that when it starts motion, when you start closing it, if you're in the camera mode and you start closing the device, when it gets to the first hinge point, it automatically just changes it into the two-way. So there's a whole area at the bottom and then there's a camera at the top. Then you can go all the way to the half mode where people try to use it as an old school camcorder. Okay, I say old school, they still exist. But yeah, we don't really be using them. And then also the screen at the front, tiny, but actually when we had the presentation, they talked about using the cover screen to take photos, and it's actually true. It is very well done. It's actually, you just when
I
you
can see
open
from here.
Yes, you guys can see.
So
So,
who are you taking a picture of, me or you?
you
Yeah,
so
'cause I can
basically
see
you are
myself.
using the more powerful cameras as a selfie camera if you wanted to, which
Cool.
is it's fantastic. And some people will be like, but the screen at the front is too small. You can actually double tap it,
And
and
it
when you
zooms
double
in.
tap it, it shows you the whole image you would have seen if you were using so the UI is fantastic. It's a great time.
Interesting. So I saw, before we get to the flip, I saw Michael actually manage to do a 3-way multitasking. You know, he had opened 3 applications at a time. Was that what it was, Michael?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Mm.
Opened, so
How
then-
easy was that? You were just dragging and dropping.
Yeah, literally dragging and dropping. Very, very easy. Very, very simple. Very, very easy and simple to do. That's when, what do you call it? They talked about the apps at the bottom whenever I open the screen. Literally just drag any of those to one corner of the screen, and then it just fills that corner and asks, do you want to add more? And it's not that difficult. It's actually pretty simple. Right now I have the camera on along with several other apps on in the background, because who wouldn't want to look at this handsome face?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard Michael and his handsome face. You can send us a WhatsApp 055 quadruple 1997 055 11 11 997 055 11 11 997. We're talking about the new Samsung devices that were recently launched last week: the Fold, the Flip, the Buds, and the Watch. And Winston is wearing the watch.
I had gone. You are the meddling kid that they see on Scooby-Doo.
On Scooby-Doo, the meddling kid, right? Yes. So, on the last chapter of the Fold, I'm so big on the Fold because, yes, productivity, and a lot of our listeners are productivity people, even though we have some lifestyle listeners as well. Assuming I was doing a presentation, like you mentioned, and I opened PowerPoint on one side, and I opened Excel because maybe I want to paste some texts or a chart, or let's say a chart from Excel into the PowerPoint presentation, and the text from the presentation is in a Word document. Can I copy these things across? Can I open them all 3 at the same time and move these things across, or do I need to open one, close it, and open the other one?
No, so in Excel, once you're done with whatever tabulation you have, you can actually copy and paste format in the PowerPoint or maybe the Microsoft Word. It works perfectly, just like the way PC does.
Oh, so I can just copy and paste straight into the PowerPoint presentation.
Exactly. And now another thing to note is the toolbar below, the task bar below, they are dynamic. So it's actually based on your frequently used applications.
Okay.
And then you can also app pair. So maybe, like you mentioned, you use Excel and then PowerPoint together. You can actually pair the app. So once you tap on it, it just opens Excel and then Microsoft together. So it's actually very dynamic. So yeah.
Wow. Now, moving to the Flip, which Michael is holding right in front of me, I noticed that the design is slightly different from last year's model. It has a bit flatter edges, and this is a new color, the Bora purple.
Yeah.
It shows which audience you are targeting with that. So tell me some of the features of the cover screen.
So compared to the previous one, like the Flip 3, Samsung is saying you can do more on the cover screen. So you can reply text messages. You can even direct dial from that side. You can also make payments in some parts of the world with that. And then we have what we call the AR emoji, where you customize yourself, just like the way we have on Snapchat, your avatar, and then have it as a on-display camera. On display, always on display.
Right.
You understand? Where you have all your time and then information. You can also, there's a quick notification toggle where you can mute, activate the flashlight. So just minor things, turn on, turn off the Wi-Fi. And then another thing is you can also control what we call the smart things app, all your applications on the smart things app. So all your smart home accessories that are on smart things app, you can
On the
control
cover
it on the cover screen.
So I don't even have to open it.
Exactly.
Closed. I can control my smart TV
Everything.
at home, my smart fridge, assuming I have one, my smart air conditioner.
Exactly.
Cool. So yeah, Michael is not Michael Samsung. Michael Geek Squad is here, remembering back then. Oh my goodness. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, you can see Michael doing the most right now with the Flip. It's painful to watch, unfortunately, but yeah, you might want to see that for yourself. Michael, can you tell us?
I'm just jealous of my genius.
Yeah, like Google Glass vibes right now.
Dragon Ball, actually.
Winston knows what's up.
Okay, so while Michael is doing his thing, let's switch over to something that everyone with any other device can use. The watch. It's a wearable smartwatch. And I think right now everyone is trying to be conscious, health conscious. We're trying to know what our bodies are doing whilst we are being us. And during the launch, a lot of things were said. So, Michael, what's new with the watch? Why should I get a 5 instead of a 4? What's new with the 5?
Okay, so with the 5, a couple of new things. I'll start with the design. I mean, the circular design has been refined a little bit. Also, I would also like to talk about the curvature of the back glass. Yes, it's also been improved, and it was improved actually to take care of a couple of things. The first one is about sweat. Is to actually it was improved to handle sweat better, and also the heart rate sensor accuracy has also been improved. Also, just by looking at the curvature of the back glass. Yes.
So just by improving the curvature of the back glass, all these things were improved.
All these things have been improved. Yes, and then we can talk about the metal that was used, in the design of the watch. So let me also mention that. So with the watch, we have two types. We introduced the Watch 5 and then the Watch 5 Pro. Now the Watch 5 Pro comes in two sizes: the 40 mm and then 44 mm.
Which one is this?
This is the Watch 5 Pro. The Watch 5 Pro comes in 45 mm.
Okay.
Yes, and
It looks sleek.
yes, it is sleek. It's made of titanium.
Oh, titanium.
Yes,
Q see a titanium right now.
it's made of titanium. So and then we can also talk about the battery. So the battery has been improved for all three sizes, as in cut across the model. So the Watch 5 now comes with 284 milliampere of battery power. The Watch 5 44 mm comes with 410 milliampere power, but that's the battery power. And then the Watch 5 Pro comes with 590 milliamperes of power. Now we
What
improved.
does this mean for the layman?
Exactly. So what we're just trying to let you know or understand is you can actually do more on your watch before your battery actually dies out or something. So we actually want the watch to last longer for you, because with Watch 5, the main theme has to do with enhancing your health through your sleep, and also of course body composition, and heart rate sensor accuracy, all these things. And if you're going to sleep, for example, with your watch for 8 hours or 8 hours plus, you need to have a lot of battery power for that. We don't want
stay awake
exactly
while you are sleeping.
Yes, we don't want your watch to die out whilst you are sleeping. Meanwhile you were trying to look at or see if you snore during the night. So yes, one new feature about the watch has to do with the snore detection. So it can actually measure that and actually detect it for you.
Winston, why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because it's like, now if you have the watch, or like, you can't argue. There's some people who snore. Like me,
I don't snore. Yeah.
There's no argument anymore.
Wait, but you see, this could be dicey. What if I'm wearing the watch, I don't snore, my partner is snoring, and the watch picks it up and says that you were snoring so loud?
Interesting.
Or it uses some other, sensors to tell that I'm not the one who was snoring.
What if I live near a road and I'm sleeping and Spiky drives by with his exhaust to think that I am snoring there?
I believe all these things were taken into consideration, and the watch, by just being on your wrist, there is some connection right there. So it's going to use some impulses, to detect these things. It's not just going to use the sound around you to say, okay, you're the one snoring. It's actually using some impulses that is being generated by the watch through your wrist whilst you're sleeping. So I don't think there's any fear about that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I had mine, it would tell me when I was light sleeping, deep sleeping, REM sleep. I was like, how could you tell all this? You were just on my wrist, and I was just lying down, but it could tell all these things. Okay, so now it can tell that I was snoring.
Yeah.
So will it record the sound of the snoring?
It's going to give you an information about that. It's not going to record.
Okay, so I can't play back to know if I was making, Okada noise snoring or V8 snoring, or it's not going to play back.
No. It's just going to let you know.
I don't think I want to hear what I sound like when I'm sleeping.
You never know. There might be the inspiration for a new beat.
I knew you were going to say something like this, Michael. I really, really knew this.
I have nothing but your best interest at heart.
So besides it detecting my snoring and other people's snoring, what else can it do?
Yeah, so one other thing I'd like to mention is Watch 5 Pro was designed for the hikers in mind. So those who like to hike, and what we have done is we have introduced the ability to upload a GPX file that you would originally convert from a GPS application like maybe Google Maps or Waze or any of these applications. And it's very easy to convert GPS to GPX. You just go to maps.google.com, create your route plan, save it, convert it using a GPS to GPX file format, and then you upload it on your watch, and you can use it for hiking. Now, normally, when you're going for these things like hiking or something, you don't want to be distracted. So it makes sense that you would only want to take your watch. So that's why you would actually do it this way. And then it has the feature of the track back. So if you're hiking, you can actually track back the exact way that you actually got to your destination. Yes. And
so if I didn't upload my GPX, and I did my discovery, my Sobibor discovery hike, it can help me track back.
Yes, it can help you track
so
back.
Even if I got lost, I can find my way back, because last night I did a walk in some neighborhood, some area. I ended up in some wrong side, and I wanted to go back, and I couldn't remember how I got there. But with this watch, I can tell.
You can tell. I guess I would also have to say that if you went in circles to get to your destination, you'll go back in circles to your starting point.
Okay. So take note. If you go round in circles once, stop right there and then go undo that circle before you continue, because you might end up killing the battery before you get to your track back starting point. Michael, you want to say something?
So completely unrelated to this, but I've been meaning the flip for a while, and I have to say the brushed aluminium on this feels really good. And notably, it's also the first brushed aluminium on a phone that I do not hate, because there's enough glass and metal, aluminium, proper aluminium chrome pieces on it that if I need to get a good grip on the phone, it's not going to fall off of my hands, but then I can still, stroke the brushed aluminium a bit to feel good about a rough day. So it's not bad. This is a first.
So, thank you very much for your feedback, Mr. Michael Ajete.
I'm nothing if not helpful.
So back to the watch that we were talking about. One other thing that I noticed was launched was a thermometer or temperature sensor. For those who, so it's the same thing. Thermometer, temperature sensor.
Yeah,
They are also checking temperature. No?
Yes.
But it's just not a thermometer.
Yeah.
So what does this do? Is it going to check the atmospheric temperature or my temperature or the watch's temperature? What is it doing?
It is going to check your temperature, and it can also actually give you the temperature of the atmosphere as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
So if I'm somewhere, like we were mentioning earlier, some people are working in a metal smelting environment and the place is so hot, and you're not supposed to take your device there. The phone, your watch can actually tell you it's very hot here. Save yourself.
Exactly, which is good information for you to advise what you want to do with that information anyways. But yeah.
Yeah, I like that. For you to do with what you want with that information. Winston.
There's one thing
Right.
that I want to ask, and Spikey will remember that this wasn't really an argument, but it was a bit of a discussion during the event. So, I am a huge fan of the rotating bezel.
Right.
But I see that I don't see it.
You see that you don't see it.
Yes.
Yes.
And I know when we talked about it that it's one of the most divisive things
Features,
about Samsung Galaxy watches, where people either love it like me or actually don't like it. So since it's not here, I'm guessing the stats are showing that more people
Don't like
it. Or is this to make it more compact? Because a rotating bezel could actually be another point of, because normally it's on the Pro watches, but if this Pro watch is for hiking, you don't want, if you're struggling through the jungles of, what jungles do you have in Ghana?
I don't know what that for it.
Yes, that's if you're struggling through, you don't want any pieces of your watch coming apart. But I see that's not there, and I'm a bit sad, but I'm guessing it's for good reasons.
Well, just to add to that, I'm also actually a fan of the rotating bezel. I mean, it's just cool to hold and actually just rotate.
Yeah, it's a fidget spinner too.
It's fun. And it's actually easy to actually navigate through your watch this way without actually touching the screen, thereby leaving smudges and all these things on the screen.
I love Hassan, do you feel the same way?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't ask Michael Ajete because he can't relate. So
I mean, his watch is even square.
yeah. Sorry, Michael.
Watch is square.
But he has a rotating crown. How do you feel about that, Michael?
If I was feeling bad, I'll go back and sit in my car and play with that rotating bezel. You know the type I speak about. Like, so no, you cannot press me with this. I'm very comfortable where I am.
But at least now we know that there's some good stuff on the watch that people who are very health conscious, because there's a lot of health tracking features like your body composition, your sleep tracking, a temperature sensor, even blood oxygen monitoring.
Yes.
And it can even tell your what was that one that he said? Your insides. Your BMI. Yeah. Your watch, wearing your watch on your wrist can tell your BMI. That's quite interesting. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to read the messages, and we're going to talk about my favorite, the Buds 2 Pro. So don't go anywhere. Stay around, and when we come back, you know why it's my favorite.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
And we're back. People still hear that dull. People still hear that dull caller tone when they call you. MTN wants you to know that you can still bring some life to your caller ring back tone with some of your favorite music. If you enjoy high life, hip hop, hip life, or gospel, then all you have to do is dial *1355# *1355# to choose from a wide range of music options, and that's it. Everyone who calls you gets to listen and dance to your favorite music too. Get a dope caller ring back tone today and enjoy life only on MTN. Now, the reason why you'd enjoy the caller ring back tone is if you were using the Buds 2 Pro. Because guess what? 24-bit audio. If you don't know what that means, see, your Bluetooth earphones you're using right now could have never done 24-bit audio. It's doing 16 at best. Some of you cried. Once you're using it. 8, 3, 7, 2, 1. Hello, Kobe, enjoying your show. Please ask your guest, where can I find Samsung Galaxy A21s? I've been to all the leading phone shops and shopping malls, but I couldn't find one. Michael, Hassan, where can he find one? He's searching everywhere.
Well,
A21s still available?
The A21s isn't something you'll be getting from any other store because then it's an old model. It's EOL.
End of life.
End of life. So I think the next closest model to A21s is A23. And then just like he mentioned, all the other leading stores, you can get A23 from that side. It's better and then actually bigger.
Right.
Compared to the
So
other ones, yeah.
A21s, end of life, in time catch. So yeah, you can get it from the store unless some below wants some corner, but not advisable. Buy only from a trusted dealer. Yeah. I'm not a happy man, Kobe. Oh, why? I've got a problem with my phone. It's a Samsung. I've had internet issues when I'm outside a crowd like the Voltage, and it's even worse. I have to resort to other brands to have a peaceful and stable internet. Current annoying wildlife is after updating my software, I've noticed the internet has gone from bad to, and he says baddest, because it's that bad. He had to restart the phone over and over, and even with that, goes back to baddest internet service after a few minutes. I need this to be addressed by the Samsung geeks. Please note, it's an original Samsung, not China or refurbished. But
can I do this for you?
You need to give us the model.
Yes, it's not even only them. Okay, the model will let us know where you bought it from, because devices are regionally
region specific.
Region specific. Yeah. So Samsung Ghana, okay, you know what, you guys can take over. I'm just going to start. People do the testing. Like before the devices come to the country, they do the testing. They'll be like, okay, we'll bring this model here. Does it work with all the networks? So they go through all the rigorous testing before they bring the final models that work perfectly here. Unfortunately, if you go buy your own for streets,
and it's coming with a Verizon badge,
yeah, you are going to have some of these problems. I even know got a Ghanaian Samsung phone for a friend. When she went to America, the telco she wanted to use didn't support the phone.
So message, he says he bought it from Franco Trading.
Okay, so then my advice would be if he bought it from Franco Trading, we would like to know the model to know whether you still qualify for service. But even if you don't qualify, we have a service center. You should swing by, let them have a look at it, and let them advise you on the best way forward.
Where will you find the service center?
We have one at Adabraka. We have one at Paloma, Ring Road. Yeah.
Okay. So you heard it. Take it to the service center, let them check it out for you. Hello, I am Stephen Deborah from the University of Ghana. In fact, I like this device and I'm looking forward to have one. Which one?
Sharp, pre-order.
Well, wow, this watch go be dope. Titanium for me though, but that GPX, that should be some revolution for those who want to visit Nima for the first time. Tom Brown in Tema. See, I have a story.
Exactly, that is the exact story I was thinking about.
A story.
And I was like, if Spikey had this watch, then
Charlie,
he would have been better.
This is me navigating the hood in Nima.
I was looking for his phone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the one I was looking for. I was in my friend's house and I ended up in a ghetto. I just said masters and I saluted them. The smoke that greeted me. So we the Apple Watch users are comfortable where we are. Mumbling from cantonment.
Tell them.
Hey, Mike,
The
why?
fact that you had to text this shows that you are not comfortable. You will not be anything.
So now, a few minutes more for us to end the show, and I want to talk about my favorite device. That's the Buds 2 Pro, and yes, the one Winston is holding. Take the white one. The black one there, it's like it looks like a shadow.
See, I don't like the white one because like. It's not that I'm dirty, but like it just looks like
Yeah, being racist.
You can just open
So-
it up. Yeah.
Oh,
Hassan.
and the cool thing about it is,
Right.
it's like, yeah, if you buy it for your girl, yeah,
It's like you're proposing.
Yeah,
Hassan, tell me as quickly as you can about the Buds 2 Pro.
Now, the newest, the biggest feature we have on there is the 24-bit. Now, I'm sure somebody might be wondering, what's this 24-bit, what's this 16-bit? Because then you were mentioning them all along. When we say a Bluetooth device can support 16-bit, it means that it can actually tell between 65,000 different sound variations. You understand?
65,000.
Now, 24-bit is able to translate 60 million sound variations.
Let's put this into color context. In 16 bits, that's 65,000 colors.
Exactly.
24 bits, that is 256
Times
220. See, the math is
256 times the 65,000.
Wow, so 256 times 65,000
Exactly.
colors in your ears.
In your
So you're
ears.
hearing actually every single thing that came from the studio.
you mean you are seeing the sound?
Yeah, seeing the sound.
Crystal clear.
Yes. Can you hear me? Sorry. What else?
Now imagine watching a Netflix movie. You know, when we were having a discussion, I was telling you about this cool movie on Netflix, Grey Man. Dope movie. When you realize, anytime you go to Netflix, you realize that beside the movie title, there's something we call the Dolby Atmos,
Yeah.
the channel 5.1.1, 7.1. Now these are the sound dynamics. It gives you, it means that those movies support high dynamic sound range. When you're listening to this, we have something we call the 360 sound, which you can actually enable on the buds. When you enable that, you're immersed in the movie. It gives you that feel like you are part of the movie.
Wow.
As it's going on, from the clippers from the gun dropping down to even hearing the bolts of a car crash. Trust me, the 360 sound immerses you in the movie you're watching. And then Samsung has always been championing this health practice. So with the buds, when you're actually listening to your music and then you are bent down, after every 10 minutes, it beeps to let you know that, to let you straighten your posture.
Oh, wow.
After every 10 minutes, it beeps. Because, you can actually transplant every part of your body, but not your spine. You get me? So, to have a good posture, Samsung has actually introduced this cool feature on there. But
So, yeah, unfortunately, we had to end right there because the news is up. So, hi, Max.
Hi, Spiky.
What's new?
Well, Spiky, management of the University of Ghana says the decision to relieve the Hall Master and Senior Tutor of Commonwealth Hall of their duties followed due process and is in the best interest of the university. According to the University of Ghana Council, which took the decision, the two officials have refused to cooperate with investigations. Some residents of Commonwealth Hall have said the decision